Now, what is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is the act of being an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship can create new organization or develop a strategy to revitalize mature organization in response to a perceived opportunity. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, basically it's a leading because of a certain person, which is the entrepreneur. Now, the person mentioned about create new organizational actions or new organizations or develop a strategy. What does it mean? When we talk about old organizations, the tendency is they tend to lack to have innovation. They tend to lack not to pursue things. Now, because of entrepreneurship, these old organizations or mature organizations can create, enhance, or develop new products for them to be able to penetrate or acquire new market in the business or for the business. Now, for this subject, entrepreneurship, the most obvious form of entrepreneurship is that starting a new business, also called a startup company. This is where we belong, or this is what we are going to do for this entire semester. We are going to, or you are going to start up your own company, and then you will be creating your own product. Okay? On the other hand, there are another forms of entrepreneurship, which is social entrepreneurship, that implies the entrepreneurial principles to organize, create, and manage a venture to achieve a social change. Now, for this aspect, it's still a form of entrepreneurship, but it doesn't only focusing on creating a new business for generating income. You may start or you may do social entrepreneurship by creating a business to support someone. For example, in terms, an organization aims to provide housing and employment to the homeless. An organization, an entrepreneurship, or an entrepreneur can start a restaurant to both raise a money and provide employment for the homeless at the same time income. So that's basically social entrepreneurship. Last form of entrepreneurship is political entrepreneurship. From its word political, starting a new political project, group, or political party. Now, basically, we may consider it as a social entrepreneurship. However, the purpose of these political entrepreneurs is to gain, or the benefit of doing such is they hope that they will be able to gain voter support, public recognition, and personal popularity, well, of course, for the reason of incoming election. Now, what is an entrepreneur? Basically, it is a French word which is entreprendre, which means to undertake. Okay? In a business context, it means to start a business. So that's basically entrepreneur. Who is an entrepreneur? He is a one who undertakes innovation, finance, and business acumen in an effort to transform innovations into economic goods. So what does ecomen means? Ecomen means is basically have a bigger understanding on a certain concept. So that's acumen means. Okay? Is a person of very high aptitude who pioneers change. A person who wants to work for himself. So unsay pasabot sa high aptitude who pioneers change. Naa siya'y daghan nga kahibalan. Okay? Mga kabuang man, however, it may be kabuang, but it can be converted into income. It can be converted into a new product that can be potential income for the organization or for that certain person. It is a person who runs a small business and assumes all the risks and rewards of a given business venture, idea, or good or service effort for sale. So, what does it mean? An entrepreneur is a person who runs a business and basically takes good care of all its problem. Na ay mga problema nga mga encounter, the entrepreneur basically answers those problems. And of course, kung na ay mga reward, ihagyapon ang maangkon tanan. But of course, if na ay losses, siya gyapon ang mag-angkon ana tanan. So that's basically the entrepreneur. Now when we talk about risk, this is basically an important topic to consider. Why? When we talk about business or life, risk is always involved. When you leave your house, there's a risk kung makaabot ba ka sa imong destination. Okay? Same concept lang siya in terms of business. However, in terms of risk, there is what we call calculated risk. So when we talk about calculated risk, you have studied everything before you venture to that certain business. Okay? Who is an entrepreneur? According to Don Sullivan, says that an entrepreneur is someone who does not expect compensation until he has created value for someone else. So a person daw kuno that is not expecting something in return until such time that that person fully satisfy someone by creating something of great value. According to Jean-Baptiste Say, an entrepreneur is someone who takes resources from lower level of productivity and rise them up to a higher level. So what does it mean? A single wood, a single bamboo stick is converted into something else. Okay? From bamboo na tree is converted into a nipa hat. Okay? A mere sand converted to hollow blocks converted to a mansion. So that's basically the concept according to Jean Baptiste Say. An entrepreneur is a person who is able to identify business opportunities and implement action to maximize on the opportunities. An entrepreneur initiates enterprise creation, undertakes risk, and manage resources to establish and operate a business enterprise that is capable for self-sustenance. So atong isa-isahon, okay? A person who identifies opportunity. We are now in this stage of pandemic. What opportunities do we see? An entrepreneur sees it that way. Example, there are those people now, according to the news, that they cannot go back abroad because there's a pandemic. Their employer in the other countries or in the ship doesn't continue their business as of the moment. So gagutomon sila. However, not everyone is gagutomon. Naay mga tao nga naka-create sila og ilahang kaugalingan nga business. And basically, because of that business, they are saying to themselves that they are no longer going back to the ship or to other country to work. Why? Because of the opportunities they encounter in implementing the business that they have started. Okay? An entrepreneur initiate enterprise creation. There are those people who started their business in terms of pagkaon, in terms of beverages, in terms of delivery services. So that's basically business creation. Undertakes risk. Well, basically, sa kung gingon a while back, there is always risk involved in doing business. However, the risk was taken care of by basically understanding the things that should need to be understood, by studying the situation, by understanding every aspect of the incoming business. Well, I am not saying that you cannot start your business unless you have fully understand that. Why? Because there are those aspects good in terms of running a business that you can only encounter them once you already started the business. Okay? So once that problem arises, undertake risk. You manage the problem, you solve the problem, and another problem will arise. It's normal in business. But basically, all the problems that you are encountering is being controlled. Okay? Manage resources from useless items converted to a valuable items. That's basically managing resources. Okay? For us or for it to be created into a product that can be sold at the same time can create income for the business or the enterprise. So, view of entrepreneurship. According to Joseph Schumpeter, he is a German. Define entrepreneurship placed on emphasis innovation such as new products, new production methods, new markets, new forms of organization. Now, when we talk about entrepreneurship, as we relate it to new products, we are or you will be doing these things. You will be creating a new product that would be new to the market. So, unsay pasabot ana, you create your own product. No, since entrepreneurship man siya, retail is not allowed. So, unsay pasabot nimo sir sa retail? Buy and sell, dili siya pwede. When we talk about entrepreneurship, yes, you may buy your raw materials, but you need to enhance it, you need to develop it to create a new product that is unique. So that's basically when we talk about new products. New production methods. When we talk about new production methods, basically, same lang gihapon nga product ang atong output. However, the process in doing the item is enhanced, is improved. So that's basically new production methods. New market methods or new markets. We have the same product, we have the same way of doing the product. However, we are looking for new customers. That's new markets. New form of organization. Well, for a better understanding of new form of organization, let's cite San Miguel Corporation as an example. Okay? So kung maingon kag San Miguel Corporation, the main product of San Miguel Corporation is beverages or beer. Okay? Along the process of creating beers, naa sila yung mga raw materials or naa sila yung mga wastes. Okay? Kaya kung mayon ka og beer, gikan man na siya sa mais, ilang i-process, kuhaon nila og duga, dayon katong duga ilahan na po dayong i-process to become beer. However, the pulp, unsa may pulos dayon sa pulp? Or sa pulp nga gikuhaan sa duga. Okay? Mo na dayon na nigawa si Bimeg. Okay? Ilahan na sang gi-process ang katong mga pulp and nigsulod na po dayon ang kanang bahog or feeds. So that's basically a form of organization. Basically, kapila na ako nag-ingon og basically, it's a form of maximizing the resources. Ang mga pulp considered na siya as waste, but it was converted to another form of product that is basic, that can sustain the organization. Wealth is created when such innovation results in new demand. Function of entrepreneur as one of combining various input factors in an innovative manner to generate value to the customers with the hope that this value will exceed the cost of the input factor, thus generating superior returns that result in the creation of wealth. What does it mean? When we talk about business, okay, wealth is created when you create something new. Okay, buta na lang nato karon nga situation. During this time of crisis, people are afraid. Face mask basically is not in demand before, but today it's very demandable. Face shields. Okay? So una wala ba face shield? Ang face shield is kato lang mo gamit sa pag-welding. Aside from that, wala na kayo lain other use for face shields. But now, you have another use of face shield to protect yourselves from other people. So that's basically innovation, creating a new demand. This is when we talk about a good business. You are creating a product, you are creating a demand. So, for a clearer understanding, let's go back with or let's transfer with cellular phones. When we talk about cellular phones, before, keypad lang siya, walay camera, it is intended only for communication. As the time goes by, okay, poor ka kung dili ka makadula og ML sa imong phone or dili ka makatake og pictures with your phone. First, for this case, new demand, laptops, Android phones that will be used for educational purposes. So that's basically new demand that is created or that is creating wealth because of innovations. Right? Kung nagpabilin pa ta karon sa keypad, we cannot access the materials online using those keypads. If internet is not yet available, we cannot access materials online. So the internet is innovated. Medyo lang yapon siya hinay, but still the purpose of it is to create a new demand, especially for this case. That will lead to income for the organization. Now, entrepreneurship and small businesses. Many people use the term entrepreneur and small business owners synonymously. While they may have much in common, they are significantly different between. There is a significant difference between entrepreneurial venture and small businesses. Entrepreneurial ventures differ from small businesses in the following ways. Amount of wealth creation. Rather than simply generating an income stream that replaces traditional employment, a successful entrepreneurial venture creates substantial wealth, typically in access to several millions of dollars of profit. So what does it mean? When we talk about small business, pamaligya ka og lata or dilata, sorry, canned goods. Ipalit nimo siya sa imong supplier worth 3 pesos. O no, 3. 18 pesos. And pwede nimo siya ibaligya for 20 pesos. So you will be having an income of 2 pesos per can. Okay? So for you to be able to reach 1 million pesos, you need to sell 500,000 pieces of cans for you to be able to reach such amount. Now, basically, in being an entrepreneur, it doesn't follow that way. A simple concept can create more than a million in just a week or a month of presentation. However, it will not be easy. You need to conceptualize, you need to think wild for you to be able to create such kind of idea. But once it is properly placed and the investors could identify that your business or your proposal is good for business, then that's good for us and we will purchase it from you. One good example, Mang Inasal. Mang Inasal is basically a simple pie. It's a simple a la carte. However, his or their combination of ingredients is kinda unique. Okay? So gikan sa a la carte, nidako siya into a stall, dayon nag-branch out sila, and Jollibee saw it as a threat for their business. So they purchased it for 5 figures. No, dili siguro 5. 50,000 lang muna. So millions. So that's basically amount wealth creation. Speed of wealth creation. While successful small business can generate several millions for profit over a lifetime, entrepreneurial wealth creation often rapid, for example, within 5 years or even lesser. So that's one good thing about an entrepreneur. Okay? They were always saying wala gyud dato sa business. No, wala gyud dato sa pagpangempleyo. Well, basically that's true. Okay? Why? If you pursue entrepreneurship, you create a new product, well, basically you can be richer sooner or later. Balikan nato tong mga taong dili na karon maka-trabaho abroad. They started their business for 20,000. Onya 3 months later or 3 weeks later, dili ko sure sa time, 100% na ilahang ROI. Okay? Wala pa niabot og 5 years. Now, kung ila pa nang padayonon, mudako pa nga mudako ilang business, wala pa niabot og 10 years. Siguro, they have their plenty of branches. They can already have their franchise for their business. So, the speed creation for entrepreneur is kinda fast. So, balikan nato kaganina, ang canned goods nga gibaligya for would earn 2 pesos per can. So, unsa pa nakadugay imuhang pagpamaligya sa 500,000 para maka-earn ka og millions. So that's basically speed of wealth creation. Risk. The risk of an entrepreneurial venture must be high. Otherwise, with the incentive of sure profits, my entrepreneur would pursuing the idea that opportunity no longer would exist. So unsay pasabot niya? Risk is always there in terms of business. We cannot deny that. So, the higher the risk, the higher the return. Kung dako nga kwarta imo ipagawas, potentially dako pud ang kwarta nga mosulod, considering that you have studied carefully ang industry nga imong gasudlan, ang business nga imong gasudlan. If you will not do such action, just give your money away or just burn your money easily so that dili na siya or dili na ka mag-effort pa. So that's basically part sa risk. Economic organization. So basically a store and a small unit or kumayan ka og society, it's a family. So when enterprise, it's gamay lang siya nga store, yes, but the success of such enterprise depends on the concept, the idea of the entrepreneur who's handling the said business. Why? Even if that store is still small, however, the entrepreneur that leads that store has new things to offer to the market. The tendency that small enterprise can become bigger slowly but surely. So that's basically an enterprise. When we talk about business, there's no such thing as you start big. Entrepreneur always starts small. Why? The very reason is for them to know what lies below. Start from scratch. The very reason you need to start from scratch is for you to be able to know all the aspects of such business. Where to purchase the raw materials, how to process the goods, who are the target markets, who are the potential target markets, so on and so forth. If you start in big, the tendency is you are producing too much and yet you don't know where to sell it first. Right? That's why, in terms of developing economies, entrepreneurs are those person who basically starts a new enterprise, and that enterprise or that enterprise's success depends on how the entrepreneur leads or direct that enterprise. Okay, let's proceed with intrapreneur. Basically, intrapreneur is the same concept with entrepreneur. However, this person is an employed staff, for example, an engineer who innovates for the company and take risk only in behalf of the employer. He is therefore an intra-company entrepreneur from whom the term intrapreneur is coined. Entrepreneur are therefore the main entrepreneur in large companies. So what does it mean when we talk about entrepreneur? These are those people basically who is an entrepreneur that is hired in a certain organization. There are those cases that this entrepreneur makes a proposal, but at the end of the day, the employer will be the one to give an approval or a go signal for that proposal to pursue. Without the employer's kanang go signal, that concept cannot move forward. That's basically a concept of intrapreneur. Okay? Regardless how nice the concept, how unique the concept, if the employer will not allow it to pursue, it will not take place. However, there are those cases put wherein the employer totally trusts their employees. The tendency is they give um, good signal immediately. Now, what is the good thing about being an entrepreneur? Now, in terms of resources, basically, you don't need to worry that much. Why? In the first place, the money that you are going to use for the development of the product, development of the concept will be coming from coming from the organization. The tendency is all you have to do is to exert your effort to convert your idea into material for you to be able to sell the product. So that's the main objective of entrepreneur. Now, in terms of resources, basically you don't have any problem with that. The disadvantage of it is that you are just paid at the end of the day. Your concept, if it gets hit, you will still be paid fixed amount at the end of the month. So that's being an entrepreneur. One good example is one of my classmates in my graduate studies is that he offered or no he proposed kay that person is working man into a poultry industry. He proposed how to sell the neck part, the leg part or the feet part of a chicken. That is not traditional. When we talk about traditional, it will be cut off and sold fresh to the market. Now what he did was he proposed another way of selling the item. Okay, of selling those parts. Why? Because he saw that they are basically dressing 1,000 chicken a day. Okay, so out of 1,000, so there will be 2,000 feet and 1,000 neck in each day. So for them to have an extra income or have some extra profit out of these things, so they need to have or they need to look for new ways how to sell it. So what happened was this classmate of mine proposed it to the top management. The top management was not able or did not recognize the employees or my classmates proposal. After 6 months or year after, the proposed concept is now available in the market. The difference lang is that it is being sold with a different name. That is what happened with that classmate of mine. So the recognition was not claimed by him. The recognition was claimed by someone else. So that's the disadvantage of being an entrepreneur, especially if you are surrounded with those people who are insecure about their careers, about their personality. Okay? So these are those people who works and innovates for the company. Entrepreneur. These are creative people, usually work together as teams, who function as entrepreneurs within a corporation. The idea is to use the company's existing resources such as human, financial, and physical resources to launch new products and gain new profit. So when we talk about entrepreneur in our or in an organization, there are those cases as well that the employer would pick persons, okay? So when we talk persons, so there are more than one individual involved. Let's say from human resource department, from financial department, from operations department, from marketing department, to group as one to create an idea how to maximize the existing raw materials in the organization. Okay? So basically, the objective of an entrepreneur is to create new products at the same time to maximize all the available resources in the organization for them to be able to gain more income and of course to minimize the waste in the organization. Entrepreneurship, this is the development within a large cooperation of internal markets and relatively small autonomous business units producing products, service, or technologies that employ the firm's resources in a unique way. It gives the manager of the core operation the freedom to take initiatives and try new ideas. It is entrepreneurship within an existing business. So it's clear that entrepreneurship is an entrepreneurship or the creation of new ideas, new offering within the existing business. Okay? If it's outside an existing business, then it's considered entrepreneurship. However, if it's within an organization, that's intrapreneurship. Contribution to the economic development. One good example would be the water lily hyacinth. For most cases, this plants is considered parasite. Why? Because of their existence, they basically filters or one of the reasons why the water in the rivers are silted. Okay, they're parasite in the community. Now, one good thing about utilization of local resources is that this water hyacinth is converted into products, converted into goods. The very reason why utilization of local resources or for buta na lang nato for one town, one product programs of DTI and other municipalities is basically to utilize the majority of the raw materials found in their locality, so that these raw materials in their locality will not be put to waste, will be converted into a higher or better income generating activity for the community. One good example, when we talk about the province of Misamis Oriental, province of Misamis Oriental is basically more into tourism. Now, part of the main products of Misamis Oriental is coconut. Okay? So, if they sell, if a farmer of coconut will sell coconut for a copra, a farmer can only earn 5 pesos per buko. However, because of tourism and because of plenty of input of tourists in their community, these people, instead of selling the coconut fruit for 5 pesos, they can sell it for 20 pesos because of the buko juice, and the fruit literally it's for consumption immediately. So in terms of processing for a copra's production and into a buko production, the utilization of raw materials has minimized. Ano man, when we talk about copras, you need to take the skin, open it, dayon. You need also to bulad the coconut. Now on the other hand, kung buko lang, iwagan nimo siya abrihan, suksokan nimo siya og straw, then basically that's good for business. So that's basically utilization of raw materials. Second, promotion of technology. Entrepreneurs are very creative, hence they contribute to the utilization and development of technology. One way of having this promotion of technology is that once an entrepreneur is starting its own business in a certain community, an entrepreneur will always see how to improve or to fasten the production of each item. Okay? That's basically promotion of technology. So sa una, if in terms of production, mano-mano siya, okay? But because of the entrepreneur's intervention for a faster utilization or faster production of items, the tendency is an entrepreneur has the capacity to create new items or new machines or machineries for a faster production of their products. One good example in terms of dole. Okay, in terms of banana harvest. Okay, instead of carrying the banana fruit from the tree towards the production area or the processing area one by one, they have invented their own ways how to carry them at once. There are those cases nga ilang pa-flood lang or ginapaanod nila sa sapa. There are those cases pod nga ilang ginahang into a string and ilahan lang dayang ipadagan. So that's basically promotion of technology. The intervention of the entrepreneur for them to have a faster way of producing or manufacturing or developing the products. Ito discussion about capital. Entrepreneurs help in solving the unemployment problems. The more businesses involved, the more manpower will be hired. Okay? So that's basically creation of employment opportunities. So it's very much clear. Okay, promotion of entrepreneurial culture. By portraying successful image, entrepreneurs become model to the upcoming generation. A country which embraces entrepreneurial culture is bound to be economically stable. So this is the negative or the side part of the Philippine culture. Why? Because when we grow up, we are always informed or told by our parents or our elders that we need to study hard for us to get employed after graduation. They are not encouraging us that after graduation we should start our own business. Even our teachers in either public school or private school basically motivating us to study hard, not to have our own business, but for us to be able to land a good job. But in terms of entrepreneurial culture, being an entrepreneur, we can always promote, entice our children, our future children, our niece, our nephews to start their own business as well. Why? If your business is doing good and great and you are helping a lot of people, at the same time you are earning that much, the tendency is these smaller ones or the younger generation would be enticed, would be motivated to become like you. So that's basically promotion of entrepreneurial culture. Okay? However, two sides of the coin lang siya. If you are an entrepreneur and you're not successful, then that's also a good model of not to become an entrepreneur, knowing that at the end of the day, my uncle who was an entrepreneur was not that successful anyway, so I prefer to have my own job. But if you're performing well with your business, then you can encourage them to have your own or their own business, seeing the potential of having their own business as well. Activity to export, there will be now a balance between importing and exporting. We import raw materials or finished goods. We also export raw materials and finished goods. So there will be a favorable balance between our country and to other countries. So that's basically the help of entrepreneurship. Okay? Improve marketing of locally produced products. The improvement in the entrepreneurial sector has resulted in an improvement in the internal and external markets. Within the current competition, every business is compelled to produce quality products and services and aggressively market the same. So what does it mean? Because of entrepreneurship, products does not remain status quo. What's it pasabot ni mo, sir? When we talk about status quo, what you were 10 years before is the same today. Okay? With entrepreneurship, with the marketing activities, that doesn't follow. All the activities 10 or last year, 1 year ago is now obsolete today. So that's basically in terms of entrepreneurship. You need to create, you need to enhance for you to be able to create a good quality of products for you to be able to compete in the market. That's very essential. Now, because of that quality, because of that technology that is being developed to create a better product, okay, the products are more aggressively marketed in the market. Why? Ma'am, sir, I'm selling this product to you which is a lot better than before. Okay? It is enhanced, it is upgraded, so the tendency is it's much easier to sell because of the concept that the quality of the product has improved, the quality of the product has been upgraded. So that's basically improved marketing of local produced products. Improve infrastructure. Create a business leads to improve cities and towns in which result in improvement of roads, bank services, telephone network, electricity, so on and so forth. Now, because of entrepreneurship, creating a business in a remote areas, the tendency is there will be a development in that area. That is what we call my farm to market roads. Okay, my farm to market road. So even though that farm of such, you know who, okay, is quite far from the market, at the same time the road is not that better because of the connection. That road can be concreted, so that's improve of infrastructure. Okay, one good thing lang is that every person can basically access the farm better. One good example would be the Hilayan. Okay, before the Hilayan Nature Park was established there, the road going there was kind of off-road. Okay, let's say it's an off-road. Okay, but because of the establishment, because of the creation of the business there, and it was identified as a tourist destination, the roads were developed. Okay, let's say that during the time that it was not yet developed, there was no Wi-Fi there. But now Wi-Fi is available. Why? Because it was enhanced. It was developed as one of the basic need of the customer, the client, as well as the electricity. Okay? Yes, maybe now there is no ATM yet, but one town before Daylayan, you can have a bank transaction in that area. Okay? So wherever there is an improvement, another example would be um, it's an alae, Manolo Fortich Bukidnon. Before the Ribisco was established in that area, that community is quite dull. Once Ribisco started to have its operation there, the community started to boom. A lot of pods, a lot of apartments were open, a lot of food industries were open, a lot of stores were open, a lot of houses were open. Why? Because there is already an existing business there. So that's basically an improve or an example of improved infrastructure once there is a business starting in that community. Okay? So that's improved infrastructure. Okay, promote of talents and hobbies. The entrepreneur and small-scale enterprise sector encourage young people to exploit their talents. If you're good in baking, then by all means you are encouraged to bake. If you're good in painting, then you're encouraged to draw a portrait, okay, and earn from your talent. So that's basically one good thing for those talented individuals. Okay, sir, I'm not good in painting and I'm not good in baking, but I love to bake. Okay, so eventually you can master that. So that would be a good activity good in terms of uh, business. Okay? Ayan na din ka mga sa imong tindahan kung na-perfect na nimo imong hobby. But for the meantime nga wala pa, then just continue with your hobby, improve, enhance, experiment for you to have your own unique features sa imuhang gina-create or gina-bake na product. So that's basically promotion of talent and hobbies. Okay? Improve growth in gross domestic product, GDP. There is now favorable trade internally, and this has seen an increase in economic growth. So what does it mean? If there will be plenty of enterprises available in the market, paspas ang ato ang rolyo sa kwarta, paspas pod ang economic growth. Why? Because of businesses and products available in the market. So that's basically how does entrepreneurs help the economic growth. Okay? So if you will become an entrepreneur sooner or later, then you are basically helping the economy more than being unemployed. Why? Kaya kung maingon kag being unemployed ka, yes, you are paying the taxes, pero after ana, dili gid ingon ana kadako ang imong ma-roll out nga money. As compared for being a successful individual, kung palit kag raw materials, o process ka, so you're spending already for those things. So the money is already rolling out in the market. Okay? At the same time, wala pa apela na ang imong income nga imong spend sa imong mga bags, sa imong mga accessories, so on and so forth. Okay? Self-reliance. Entrepreneur enables citizens to survive comfortably without too much borrowing. So this is basically one of the things that is encouraged to become an entrepreneur or by becoming an entrepreneur. Self-reliance. There are those people who would say that you can never have a luxurious life if you will be working from 8 to 5 or if you're just on a regular job. If you want to earn more, then do business. That's basically being self-reliant. Why? Let's say na lang, you're earning 10,000 a month. Okay? So, after a year, you get promoted and you have an increase about 15,000. Okay, so supposedly you will be saving 5,000 every month because you already know how to maximize the 10,000 and now you will be earning 15,000. But the problem is when the 15,000 arrived as your basic salary, you also almost used the 15,000. Worst, even if you will be earning 50,000 a month, you will be spending almost 50,000 for the month. In terms of income, as a person, our lifestyle also changes based on how much we earn. Now, being as entrepreneur, most of the time that doesn't follow. Why? Because being an entrepreneur needs to be disciplined in terms of spending money. Why? Because an entrepreneur always have this forecast, what if there would be problem? If I spend my money today, where will I get my money next? Okay? So that's basically self-reliance. Okay? Entrepreneurship and self-employment. Entrepreneurship and self-employment is the state in which a person puts an effort in a business or activity that belongs to himself. He or she works independently and earns a living from it. An entrepreneur is the one who recognizes an opportunity and takes the risk of a business owner of providing a needed product or service for which an adequate reward is realized. Both the risk and profit are involved. Now, when we talk about entrepreneurship and self-employment, basically it's the same. Being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that you are not working anymore. So being an entrepreneur means you are working for yourself. Okay? You are basically actively putting an effort in a business, in your own business. Okay? So basically, it's still an employment, but you are not under the authority of someone else. You are under your own authority. This description fit both entrepreneurship and self-employment. So they are one and the same, although entrepreneurship is more serious and deliberate level than self-employment. Why? Okay. Being good an entrepreneur, you need to always conceptualize. You need to be always creative for new ideas for you to be able to implement in your business. Na kung mayan kag self-employed ka, buta na lang nato retail ang imuhang business. All you have to do is kompra baligya. Okay? Ibaloon lang nimo kung saang halinon, then you are good with that. Now, being an entrepreneur, it's kind of complex. You need to further study for you to be able to create a better product. Okay, factors to consider before going into self-employment. First, you should have the good idea. Okay? If you don't have the idea or that golden idea yet, please don't let go of your work first. Okay, make sure that your idea is worth the risk for. Okay? If it's not that worthy enough to take the risk, please don't let go of your work first. Another, skills, technical and managerial. Now let's go back with my friend who was working with a poultry company before. He was able to work there for 10 years. Now he has now the technical skill. Okay? He already knew who are the market, where does the market gets the raw materials, so on and so forth. Okay? The skill is very essential in terms of starting its own business. Another, mga automotive shop. Okay? This mechanics basically from working from a casa. Okay? Now they start their own business. They start their own automotive shop because they are good enough in taking good care of the engine of the cars, so on and so forth. Market capital. So market capital basically do have they already that existing markets? Okay, do they already have that enough resources, money, funds, place for them to operate their business? If not yet, then okay, you can still start having that while you are still working. Okay, machinery, the technology, if you already have that, then by all means you can proceed. If you would like to bake, sir, I want to have my own baking store, but I still don't have my oven, so you can might as well save for your machinery or for your oven first before quitting your job and have your business. It would be very unwise if you quit your business to bake and you still don't have that oven. Okay, is your raw materials available? You have a strategic location. Okay, legal issues. Are you not allowed by the company to start product or business of the same line of industry? So basically that would be a legal concern. The competition. How better is your offering than the competition? Those are the things you need to consider before you start to start your own business or to quit your regular job and to start to be self-employed. Okay, reason for self-employment. Okay, need to improve personal income. As I have mentioned a while back, if you would like to have a better life, you need to have a better job or better source of income. So the better source of income would always be being an entrepreneur, being a business owner. Besides the ability to secure any type of employment, this is the most basic reason which causes many low-income earners to directly embark on businesses by way of self-employment. Inflation often impairs the ability of low-income earners to afford basic necessities of life to the extent they have to look for alternative ways of ensuring survival, and this may lead them to set up a small business. Now, when these small businesses start to grow up and they are basically providing them the income with as compared with their regular job, the tendency is they quit their regular job and focus more of their times to their small business. Why? Both the regular job and the business is giving the same amount of money. So might as well quit the job and start my new business since I'm already good enough or the income is good enough for me to be sustained. Second, inability to secure desirable job. A number of people eligible for employment is very high. There are not enough employment opportunities in the formal sector. The small businesses sector has the capacity to create jobs. So what does it mean? Um, you're a graduate of 4-year course for buta na lang nato you have graduate summa cum laude. Yet once you start your work, you're still part of the entry level job. Okay? So that's inability to secure desirable job. Ma'am, sir, I'm a summa cum laude. Why are you giving me a clerical position? Why are you allowing me to encode all days or encode these files all days? So that's inability to secure desirable job. Influence of others. Although many aspiring entrepreneurs make a personal decision to go into business, there are also strong indicators that just as many, if not more, get encouraged to take a plunge as a result of influence or inspiration gained from close associates such as friends or relatives already in business. So why already in business? Because for those people who have not yet started a business or who have been failing in doing business cannot influence others. Okay? Basically, they cannot do that. Why? Because of their reputation that is not successful in dealing with business. However, for those who are already existing or who are already successful in their existing business, they have all the means to share or encourage them to have their own business as well. To seek more independence, there are people who prefer to be introduced to a task without being led every step required for the accomplishment of the task. They like to be left alone to think and develop their own initiative. When guided closely, they feel belittled, frustrated, and impatient. Occasionally, these people rebel and often end up in self-employment. If the present opportunity does not give them the opportunity to seek challenge or contribute their own ideas. Now, basically, this attitude is kinda part sa millennial. We don't want to be treated as if we don't know anything. If we were guided closely, as if we have not learned anything, we are not basically given the opportunity to improve and enhance, to create something better. Okay, if we were being instructed always along the way, it's kind of frustrating as well. So there are those chances for you not to be able to feel that one is to start your own business. Okay, and to be self-employed, to be more independent, to always hear what you would like to do or always hear what you would like to say and implement what you think is good for your business, then have your own business is the best way to apply those new ideas. Love for adventure. Innovative people thrive and exploit new ideas and opportunities even if the outcome might be uncertain and risky. They derive satisfaction from the thrills that arise from mixture of success and uncertainty. So there are those people who are adventurous. However, if you have your own family already, this attitude kinda uh, kinda mess up your family or might mess up your family. However, there are those people good who love adventures. Okay, they do not. Um, they love to see what happens next if this would happen. They would like to enjoy how can they improve or they would like to feel the presence of supranational things, then that's basically the love of adventure. Okay, this has another would be the dissatisfaction of wage employment. So this may be the result of poor prospect of career advancement. So you've been there for 5 years already, and even for a regular position, you will not be able to have it. So, hugot lang. So, that's basically poor or dissatisfaction with wage employment. Another, um, you and your co-employees who are regular having the same level of responsibilities but not having the same amount of privileges, of benefits. So that's basically dissatisfaction of wage employment. Delayed promotions, if there are those promotions that was being promised to you and it's already 10 years, sir, the promotion is not yet there. So that would be a dissatisfaction. Lack of recognition and appreciation, especially for those people who have literally give their lives for the company and yet as if they were not existing. Poor terms of service, contractual base lang at the end of the day, and without better benefits. So that's basically poor terms of service. Unsatisfactory work conditions. The workplace is unhealthy. The workplace is basically okay man siya, clean, pero your boss is always shouting, you stupid individual. So that's still unsatisfactory working in condition. And pending redundancy. So what does it mean? What you have done yesterday, you will be still doing that today, and you will be doing that again tomorrow. That's pending redundancy. Okay? And that's kind of boring. You will be looking for your self accomplishment at the end of the day, but still you cannot find that because at the end of the day, you have not accomplished anything. A favorable environment. This includes appropriate incentives. It's access to credit facilities. So favorable employment environment for starting to be self-employed. So you have already find or availed credit facilities for you to be able to acquire the money or the startup capital for your business. Law governing small enterprise creation. So we have that already, wherein DTI is basically encouraging the small, medium enterprises to start their own business, and basically they are giving the trainings and seminars in terms of how to price, financial aspects, marketing aspects, in all marketing, um, no, in all business related activities. So what we are doing now, or what trainings they are giving, is basically the 4-year courses that is being introduced to you. Ilagya po na siya kaka-encounter. So that's the government, the laws governing small enterprise creations. Access to raw materials and machinery. So if you, that will be favorable sa inyo ha. Kung daghan water hyacinth sa inyo ha, daghan po lubi sa inyo ha, instead of himoon lang siya kakupras, pwede nga imo siyang i-prepare para may mong butong. So that would be great. Good infrastructure, road, telephone networks, electricity. So if you have already an existing work sa inyo ha, or existing internet connection, you have good camera, you have better subscriptions internet connection, then you can start siguro selling online and everything about it. So that's basically good for business. So that's basically favorable. Inexpensive cost of labor. For now, since you are starting, all you have to do is to wait lang sa. But when your income is already good enough, then you can hire a new one. Now, one good thing about business is that there will always be cost, but we cannot know, or the income, the potential income for your business will be limitless or boundless. That is always dependent on the person who is doing the business. Okay, so that will be all for this presentation. So thank you.